have a Raspberry Pi hooked up to a passive piezo buzzer. In the Viam app, I've also added two components. One is the board component to represent our Raspberry Pi. This allows us to manually control the GPIO pins. And in fact, if I wanted to test it out, I could write to pin 35 and set different states of pulse width modulation cycle. We have 70. I'm not sure, hopefully you can hear that. Let's turn that off. I'm already able to control the GPIO pins using the board component, but for an experiment, let's take a look at the second component here, and that's a piezo buzzer. We've configured it to talk to physical pin 35 on our Raspberry Pi board called board 1. So now if we go over to the control tab and find that piezo component, we can actually send through a payload input like this with a couple different parameters for frequency, duration, and duty cycle, and execute. So why would we create a separate module for a piezo buzzer instead of just manually controlling the GPIO pins using the board method? I created this module for the piezo buzzer. It's an encapsulated bit of custom logic that now I can reuse and share with other people. And if you have a whole fleet of machines out there, this allows you a lot more explicit version control. This means that I can also send through a payload like this. I can program any kind of logic I want and then execute it. And there you go. There's a module for a piezo buzzer, but that module represents any kind of encapsulated logic for any type of sensor, actuator, service, or any kind of custom functionality for custom hardware.